Hey, so I have a lot to talk about today because I had a lot of time to think about things. Some of you may have noticed that all my videos are gone. I actually used the hide channel button. I didn't delete my channel or any of my videos. When you hide your channel, it just privates everything. And I did unprivate some stuff, but I'm not interested in making everything unprivate again. We will start fresh, another season of the Aku anime. But what really happened was my friends had an intervention about me with me. They said, Andre, you need serious help. Why? Why am I being sat down and told this? Well, I have self harm issues. I've always had self harm issues. I would always pick at things on my skin or my body because I just felt that was the best way to like sort of therapy any stress I had. But as of last year, it turned to occasional cutting. Now, I'm nearly 30 years old and I'm talking about cutting myself. I'm not some depressed, edgy teenage girl if you feel that is something that is only qualified for them. I've always had issues with harming myself. I just don't talk about it. I feel weak. I feel immature. I feel worthless when the conversation is brought up. So I just don't talk about it. During the intervention or during that time period, the cuts I had on my arms were very bad. My arms literally looked like somebody was trying to perform surgery on me and never bandaged me up. It's embarrassing. During the past 2 years, it's been really the first time I've actually had friends in real life that I can count on. I've always had a friend or two in real life. I always say in real life because like I'm a serial internet user, so like I'm always on like the internet. But like actually having that in real life is way different. And I've always had a friend or two, but I always distanced myself from them eventually or isolated myself from them. I would purposely walk myself out of that friend group because I just feel like social communication physically exhausts me. So there's no reason being friends with me in real life because I'm going to be exhausted talking to you. But now my friends are actually people I want to be around. They don't feel exhausting. I feel like I could lean on them for support or talk to them about anything without being overly judged. Ironically, in this moment, I was the most judged. So when they speak about, yo, Andre, it's time you get some serious help, I openly agreed. I said, I am going back to the psych hospital or the psychiatric hospital, mental ward, whatever. I'll use different phrases in the video, right? The mental ward. The problem is, I've been there a few times. So you know what that means. Frequent visitors of the hospital means they keep you longer each time. I decided to check myself in the next day after we had this intervention. The first thing they said to me, the psychiatrist, before I submitted in completely, they said, so, you're still talking about your issues on that YouTube channel. How's that going? I literally almost had a panic attack. So, wait. On my medical records, you have me and my channel listed? I'm not even popular. I'm not even lit. But you keep a record and monitor what I do on YouTube and social media. And the way that was delivered to me too, like, oh, you still post on the channel about your issues, huh? Like, do you see how that's delivered to me? I said to myself, you know what? I'm just gonna delete my channel. And I tried to. I'll try to delete it. Rather, I'm gonna deactivate everything. Out of fairness to that statement that the psychiatrist made, my videos are very introspective and touch on topics related to depression and other things like this. But to make a medical analysis and a medical statement like that as a professional healthcare provider with this information consideration, I felt like I really screwed up. Some of you guys leave comments saying that I helped you or I was there when you were going through something. Yet, am I really helping or am I just being relatable? Is being relatable truly helpful to the problems? Does it fix the problems? You know what I mean? Why even bother? Why do this? Why even make music? All my songs are literally depressing or toxic. I don't make music that's, how do you say, I don't know, like, I don't make club bangers or music that's super lit, you know? I don't do that. I tried turning negative to positive. Yeah, Star and Moon. My ex told me to take my own life because I did something self-destructive and I tattooed my face up. Okay, well, yeah, I tried to turn that into a song. That kind of worked out. Yeah, I make video game cheats for a living, guys. I ruined the experience of many people who play online games, and I feel bad about it every single day. Yet, doing that, I'm using that same platform for reverse engineering in video games to allow others to learn how to code and make their own startup that isn't related to poorly ethical businesses. I'm trying to turn negative to positive. And yeah, my behavior as well. Yeah, I was groomed as a kid by some satanic girlfriend in an online relationship. And now that damaged me so much that I never got help for it. And people who have been around and been watching me for years, you know about Satanist girlfriend. You know about that whole story. That's like one of the oldest story times I've ever told on this channel. And I always, every time I mention it, I mention how much worse it really was than how I explained it, right? And, being in that relationship with someone who was like twice my age, and being the kid I was, that damaged me so much that I never got help for it. And now I only want to date women who are twice as old as me and are unhinged and chaotic. And it also makes me a very protective friend and lover. I'm loyal as a dog, bruh. Remember the story of why I've been vegan for like 4 years? My vegan stuff has nothing to do with, oh my God, look at all the animal farms and look at the GMOs they put inside the steroids they put inside the meat. I'm not really interested or into that stuff. I've been vegan for like 4 years because that had to do with my ex. The relationship was 4 years ago. I'm still holding on to it as a promise I made to her about my diet. I didn't even need to go vegan. She was the one who wanted to lose weight. I decided, hey, listen, let's just switch up both of our diets at the same time. Let's both do something new. And I decided to stay vegan because I'm loyal as a dog like that. Like, yo, I can keep listing things if I'm not already sounding pitiful, but you can see why my brain works a certain way. I have severe problems that I cannot find resolve for. I'm self-aware of it. I can articulate it in videos or music, which you guys say is helping. And if it is, that's great. But, 1 second, sorry. My phone is like loud. I'm gonna do this video in one take, you know what I'm saying? But that's great that I'm helping, but I'm the one who's hurting over the topics I'm talking about. And don't get this twisted. I'm not shifting blame to anybody here. I, in all my willpower, uploaded this content despite it being topics that hurt me. So don't take that the wrong way. You guys are saying that is helping, and that's great that it is. I just want you to understand that a lot of these topics, they pop up because I'm going through something. So, let me tell you how this went, right? When she asked about my YouTube channel, I was stressed. And later that day, I got put into the mental ward. Man, when I got put in there, that humbled me this time a lot. In this visit, the people in there were so nice to me, very open, inviting, good energy. But there were some people who were clearly unwell to be around. But overall, it's hard for me to call anyone crazy in there. It's very hard because the day after I got submitted, we had a group therapy session. And every single one of those people who shared things that they had to get off their chest in the group therapy, every single one of those people had trauma. Now I get why they're called crazy, or they do certain things. These people are hurting. And I felt so wrong. I was thinking about that because there were some people, remember I mentioned, there are some people in there who acted very unwell to me, or quote crazy to me, despite the welcoming environment. And I would judge them in my head and be like, yo, this bitch is annoying. Yo, this person is aggravating, yada, yada, blah, blah, and this and that. But then when they shared their trauma in the group therapy, I thought, maybe I shouldn't look at them like a human a little bit more. Have some more empathy. Maybe they don't. Yeah, I get why they act that way now. Somebody did something to them and took advantage of them. Somebody hurt them and they never found a way to truly move on from it. And I felt so wrong because remember how the whole Samantha project started? When I released the album, Samantha was a code name for someone who was close to me who tried to take their own life and had to be put in a psych ward for 3 months. To this day, they are still there. They went for 3 months, got out, went right back in for another month or so. They never leave the psych ward anymore. I just completely lost somebody. They just in and out the psych ward all the time. And if you remember those videos about this person, Samantha, in those videos, I was being so angry and obsessed about it. I was dreaming every night about this person. I was mad that they didn't want to talk to me. I was mad that they said stuff to me. It made me, some of the stuff that they said, it also made me sad too. And I remember crying in one of the videos. I was in the mental hospital for nearly a month. When I got out, I was scared to leave. I swear to God, make me drop dead right now if I'm lying. When I got out of that hospital and I went home, I was hesitating to use the bathroom. I was hesitating to walk up and down the stairs, to make food. You know why? Because at the hospital, all I did or could do was sit in a room with the bed and stare at a white wall the whole day and night, and a white ceiling too. And there's a window in my room, but it's bolted shut. So I would spend days staring out the window. All I can do is think. Sometimes I'd walk up and down the hallways. There's nothing to do. I had nothing left in me because I couldn't do anything. Oh, so since I got checked in for self-harm, guess what changed from my previous visits? Every 10 minutes, somebody would open my door and see if I didn't hurt myself. How do you think I felt trying to sleep? It was nearly impossible. Someone opening your door every time. First of all, I couldn't even sleep with the door closed. They didn't allow that with me. But if I tried to keep the door mostly, not closed, like closed shut where you had to turn the doorknob, but like closed, you get what I'm saying? Like someone would just open the door and the light from the lobby would come in. It's like, I can't sleep. They gave me so much medication. And look, I'll say everything because, I've always been transparent with you guys about stuff. Like they said, what I'm being treated for in the medication, they said I have major depressive disorder, bipolar depression, and borderline personality disorder. That probably explains in many videos of mine in the past and my behavior. Every single day I wake up, it feels like someone was psychologically torturing me while I sleep. It's been like that for years. But sometimes you chalk it up to maybe I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, as they say, right? It's weird because I wake up and I'm on edge or I'm mentally defeated before the day even starts. So they gave me all these meds to fix everything. It also made it longer for my stay because clearly the meds are not working. So every time I got switched to a new medication, they had to keep me for extra days to make sure that, we got to see what the effects are. The issues that I have are a strong chemical imbalance in my brain. This isn't something I could just go to the gym and it will fix everything, bro. Go outside and touch grass, bro. I literally have spent years trying everything. There's one thing you cannot say about me that nobody can say about me and the struggles that I've been through, especially if you've been keeping up and watching my videos or just keeping up with my life. You can't say, Aku didn't try to make his life better. You can never say that about me. Ever. And if you do, you don't truly know me or you haven't been paying attention at all. Oblivious, living under a rock. I have done so many things to try to better my life and try to find happiness. I cannot find resolve to my trauma and my problems. There are days where I'm super happy and then for the rest of the month, I'm suffering to get through the day. I'm tired of life. I'm tired of everything. And I got help because I was told by my friends to get help because it's getting bad. That is the only reason purely why I haven't pulled everything away from my life and cut it short is because what you know about in your lifetime losing two friends because they were selfish and they cut their life short. You know how that makes me feel? When people who I care about take their own life and I don't have a chance to say something. I don't have a chance to at least try. Or maybe something, I don't know, anything. Just don't leave like that. Don't leave on terms like that. You know how that makes me feel? It adds to the problems I'm already going through. I don't want to make others feel that same way. One of my friends during the intervention, he bursted in tears saying he wanted me to get help because 2 weeks ago, he lost somebody who took their life. Talking about, I'm next. I was never going to take my life. I'm just going through life, even if I find a lack of happiness in it. I'm doing the best I can do. I've always been against the concept of taking meds. I've made that very clear in my videos. I've never liked how they made me feel. Now I have to take it. In that period that I was in the ward, they assigned me to a therapist. I have to go see them every week. I have to see a psychiatrist. They got people calling me every single day on my phone since I've been home. Every single day I'm getting phone calls. Hey, this is the hospital. Hey, this is the psychiatrist from blah, blah, blah. How you doing today? It's like, it feels like, I'm not saying I feels like I'm still in there because there's a big difference between that and the freedom that I have now. But I'm just constantly being reminded of chaos. The full package. I'm just tired of everything, man. I played this game several times in the background. You know what game I like? A lot? Cyberpunk 2077. I don't care what anyone says about how bad the launch was of that game. I enjoyed that game. But one of the endings, if you ever played, I'm sorry to spoil this part. If you want, just skip the next 20 seconds or 30 seconds or so. One of the endings in Cyberpunk reminded me of everything while I was in the ward. The devil ending. In the end, V is spending every single day being asked the same questions and being analyzed, and it's frustrating to him or her. They kept asking me protocol questions too. That's how I felt. I'm playing footage in the background. That's how I felt though. It felt like a book report over and over and over and over. Test this and test that. Are you this? What do you think about that? Dude, I get you're trying to do your job. I just answered the same question with the same answer the past 15 days in a row. How do you think I'm supposed to feel? Oh, this one would really trigger me. You should go hang out in the lobby with the other patients. No. Like, no. Period. Stop asking me. I don't want to socialize with these people. Man, let me tell you about the people in here, man. I've been to this mental hospital several times, this specific one. All these people care about is food and who is currently interested in playing Uno. You know, Uno is a very fun game. The card game, Uno, right? Imagine having nothing to do but play it, because that's the only activity you have. People are already hogging the TV. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch whatever BS they're watching. In my recent visit, I met a few interesting people in there. And again, I don't call them crazy. They just don't have an outlet and they have trauma. I did meet a girl in there. She was like 40 something. I thought she was still cute. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Like she never smiled, and people kept joking to me about, yo, Andre, I've never seen her smile until you came around. I mean, listen, man, listen. I got nothing else to do in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I got some, whatever. I'm not even trying to get into it. But, you know, I spoke to her and we hung out a few times. And then I gave her my number, right? Which I wasn't supposed to do. You're not supposed to give people numbers when you're in the psych ward. That's like one of the biggest rules. Don't start romantic relationships and don't give people your number, right? Yo, I gave her my number. Regardless, she left before I did. She never texted me. Still, it's funny because I come to find out she literally has no phone. She tells me this like later on. She has no phone. She was homeless and lost her phone and eventually got sent to the psych ward because she had an eating disorder. They had to take her out from the shelter to bring her to the hospital because I didn't even know any of that. Yo, she told me one time, maybe this might be too private, you know, like we were just friends, you know what I'm saying? But like I'm not gonna like air out her name or anything like that. But like I remember one time she told me when we were eating, she was like, we're eating breakfast, and she said, I'm gonna be right back, right? So she runs off. She comes back 30 minutes later, a solid 30 minutes later. I thought I got ghosted. I thought I got ghosted in a cafeteria. Yo, when she came back, she told me she threw up all her food. I'm like, Shraggy? Here's the lesson of the story. Besides the fact I didn't get the text because she's homeless and has no phone. But the moral of the story is, this is what I mean about people in the ward. I grow very attached to people. I grew very attached to her despite her problems. When she left, remember I told you that she left before I did? I was so sad. The same day, I was like sleeping the whole day. It felt like someone broke up with me. No, we weren't even a thing, like I was mentioning. You know, I made her smile and blush a few times, but like you see people come and go though. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say don't form romantic relationships. People, you can't grow attached to anything else. People just come and go. So telling me to be like, yo, socialize with the other patients, I'm just gonna get attached to people. And then my problems are gonna get worse. This is also a thing outside of the ward. This is why I keep my circle very small. It's hard to, I'm not saying it's hard to get in touch with me. I don't say I always answer things on Instagram, but you know, I can be very inconsistent. If you are my friend, or I treat you as a friend in a sense, maybe I shouldn't even say that. That's going to come off wrong to some people. I'm just, you know, if you're my friend, right? If I consider you like a very close best friend to me, I could be very clingy. and attached to you. Extremely possessive, jealous. And see, this goes back to I have so many burdens. I just avoid people and live life the best I can. Yo, there was this other girl I met in there. She was like 20. That's what her bracelet said. It said she was 20 on her bracelet. And she showed me her wrist. Because when you're in the hospital, you get the hospital bracelet, right? So like it showed her age on there, and then she showed me her wrist with the bracelet, and she saw mine. And she's like, "Oh my God, we're cutting buddies now." Man, what? Huh? Who? Like, we comparing the cuts on our wrists to signal our friendship? Yo, I don't think you have to be smart or rational to know this is the type of thing to avoid. She was very pretty, by the way, like very, very pretty. But I don't want to get attached to you. I'm literally in here because I have deep cuts on my arms. And you talking about us being close because we share the same, I don't want to say sentiment because that's not the right word. We share the same type of pain, This is why you shouldn't talk to people in there. My roommate was homicidal. He's an army vet talking about, oh my goodness. This guy was talking about wearing a shiesty in a mental ward. Like, I'm sorry, but like, are you a crackhead or something? Wearing a shiesty in a psych ward for what? He beefing with the nurses. But it was funny because he was actually nice to talk to. I never had beef, like actual beef with anyone in a psych ward before. Other patients have beef with each other, but nobody ever gives me a hard time. I'm always told by the schizophrenic women inside the ward, even outside the ward, okay, the women who be doing this type of energy, oh my God, I love my energy and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always told by them that I have very calming energy. My energy is very calm. So I don't be walking around with an angry aura or anything like that. One of the ladies braided my hair twice while I was in there. So it was, see, it's nice having little interactions, but I can't get personal with anyone in there. I'm just scared of attaching. The girl that I said that didn't text me, I still think about her. It's weird. It's almost like a week and she hasn't texted me. I sometimes think to myself, maybe she'll text me tomorrow. Oh my God, I can't wait to take her out because I know she's going to text me tomorrow. Like, bro, what the fuck? What am I talking about? I barely know her. Why do I care about her texting me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm growing too attached to someone as per usual. So bad. It's like, it's not good, See, I'm self-aware of it too. That's why I see what I mean about why certain people act the way they do. You got to treat people like humans a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? This is a moral of this sort of like short story here, or this tangent that I'm going on here. You gotta, when you see people do weird things or they have these weird habits or social behaviors, they had to be humanized in a sense. So people go through stuff, or they got these weird things going on to why they act this way, Don't dehumanize them because this is how they are. It's just like that. And, speaking of dehumanization and getting back into society and stuff like that, I did think about my plans once I got out. I think in terms of like YouTube, I want to introduce a different type of season to the Aku anime. You guys really like the very long videos, like the hour-long videos, the 30 minutes or more type of things, right? Like this video should be around 30 minutes at this point. I like that format too. I think that format is very gold for me. I see people say, do a podcast, I feel like everyone and their mama got a podcast, bro. But it's like, if I since I said I want to do the format this way, maybe I'll upload it. I'll upload like these on like Spotify. Would that be okay with you guys? Maybe let me know down below if I could just do something like that. But this format that I'm talking about here, these longer videos, I want to touch on very serious mental health topics in a presentable way where it's like me reading an essay to people, if that makes sense. That sounds like the most fun or entertaining thing for me to do. I've also been thinking about Samantha Part 2 or the deluxe project, right? I have so much more unreleased songs that I want to put out there. Working on Samantha was so therapeutical to me that I wasn't thinking about any of the pain that I was really going through because I could just put it out. It's like writing in a journal or putting it out in a song, right? It would do so much more for me than just making music. I also think I want to quit Dungeons and Dragons as a hobby. It's fun, but it's very time consuming and I don't get anything out of it really. It just keeps my mind busy. The concern I have is going back to the hospital again. If I do, it will probably be if I go back to the psychiatric hospital, I will probably hide my social media again because they were about to go through stuff for my analysis. I just don't want that. Furthermore, if I go back, I'm going to be gone for months. I'm on a strike system at this point. Every visit to the hospital is more time they add to the stay. Next time I go, again, I will be gone for months. And if I don't hide my channel by that time or delete my channel by that time, I don't think I'll ever like delete, but I don't know what's going to happen. If I don't upload for months, that's probably what happened. Just throwing it out there. Aku got sent back to the psych ward. It's not even funny. Why am I laughing? It's weird how you can just laugh at your own misery sometimes. Listen, at the end of everything, all right, getting back to the main thesis of this video, and let's wrap this up, right? I just want to feel normal. I crave that feeling. What would it truly be like to have a healthy outlook and social aspect on life? What is that like for those who live that? I'm tired of living in a mental state where everything is chaos. I don't want to go back to the psych ward. I don't want to go there anymore. Really, I don't. It's hard for me to still adjust to the outside world. Even as I make this video essay, I still struggle with everyday things because I've been adjusted. And I get it. The topic of normal is subjective and it's shaped by individual experiences and societal norms. But to Aku, or Andre, whatever you want to call me, normal to me is a life where the conscious is not in a constant battle. Sometimes the battles are long, other times the battles are short. But the battle never stops. With this battle constantly being fought, people don't truly realize that it's not an internal situation. It's not just an internal issue I have here with this. It externalizes to the real world. Relationships and other things you pursue become a cycle of misfortune and despair. Being in the psych ward makes me feel a bit more comforting than being in the real world because it's going to be from a place of structure to an unpredictable outside world. I say, though, in the same breath, I said earlier that I don't want to go back, but at the same time I do, because I knew what was going to happen tomorrow or the day after. I knew every single day in that psych ward, I'm just going to stare at the wall. I'm going to stare outside the window, and I'm just going to think and dwell about life. They wouldn't allow me to have a pencil or pen or anything. So I had to write down notes with a crayon. Like, I couldn't have shoelaces. I couldn't have any clothes that had any strings on it. Nothing. I think about it though. I kind of miss. It's weird. I miss it. I miss being there. And but I rationalize why I feel that way. Again, it's because I'm going from a place of structure to an unpredictable outside world. This outside world is why I ended up in a structured place to begin with. And I was wrong for being so mad about the Samantha situation. And I get why they prefer to stay away from me and stay in the ward. I'm not somebody who is stable anymore myself. Maybe I never truly was. It just was more maintained at one point. Or maybe I'm finding my triggers more. Why would anybody rely on me if I'm not my own stable bridge? You know? In this video, in conclusion, my point is to show I'm still fighting. I'm not giving up or anything of the sort. I just want others to understand, or at least get what is going on with my struggles right now. Each word and each sentence I scribed into this video topic, it gives an effort to organize the chaos. It's one step closer to maybe even being healed. I think, or at least I hope, that would be the case. Whether I put that in my music or I make videos like this, there's always a battle going on that I hope I can put an end to without the cost of hurting others. The outro is usually, watch the sun bleed, it's our time to go out while we watch the sundown, right? You've heard me say that so many times. It's like that. The sun bleeds as sundown approaches. As the light goes out, sometimes I wish other lights flicker off too. And it's not just about mental health. It's also about being socially integrated in ways I would consider subjectively normal. Each day we walk, we are faced with challenges. How those challenges play out is a series of setbacks, yet improvement. It just takes time. Is this a journey worth taking in the end? I'm not truly sure yet, but there's only one way to find out. Pursue it and live life through the challenges we face and do our best to reconnect. And discovery is hopefully one of the joys of life that I get to meet. So I just hope everyone else is doing well at least. This sort of explains everything and what my plan is going to be like. It's time we go our different ways, or separate ways. It's another missed call.
Another missed call. I said let's go two different ways. That's another missed call. Saying that I'll never leave and stay. That's another missed call. Hearing back from you and I wait. That's another missed call. Those desires for you start to fade. That's another missed call. That's another missed call. That's another missed call.